Hey, welcome back to the show. And today I want to talk to you about the 3 sales channels that you can use to grow your woodworking business pretty fast. Let's jump in. All right, guys, welcome back to the show. As always, I'm grateful for your time, for your attention, for you lending me your ear for a little bit so that I can hopefully speak into your life and your business and help you out. So I want to talk to you today about the 3 sales channels that you can get launched that will help you the most. And this is kind of a broad overview, and there's lots of little nuances inside of these 3 sales channels. And I'm going to kind of talk to you about the pros and cons of each today, and I'm going to talk about what I would recommend. Okay, now I'll save that opinion for the very end, and I'll tell you why. But there's really 3 different directions that you can go to grow your woodworking business. Number 1, the very first sales channel that you can jump into to start growing your woodworking business is online, through social media, creating a website, getting set up on Etsy, running Pinterest ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads. Everybody is on social media in some regard. Your buyers for your unique product are probably on social media. Why would you do this? What are the benefits of putting your products online, website, Etsy, social media? What are the benefits of this? Well, you don't have to have any inventory. So what I always do is we build customized products. So I have standardized SKUs, standardized products that is like, okay, this is our Dixon table, the table that I'm sitting at right now. This is our Dixon table. This is a standard design. However, you can customize it with the length, the width, the color, and the wood options, the type of wood that we use for the tabletop. What that allows me to do is allows me to create the product online, create the variants or the options for someone to buy it, and then when they buy, then I build it. So everything is made specifically to order, and people like that. People like being able to customize their stuff. It does create issues inside the business. Sometimes you need to have a standardized product that you just pump out. But for bigger ticket items, for anything, $1,000 or more, people really like that stuff customized if they can get it. Okay, so I would recommend that if you're doing furniture, if you're doing higher end wood products, if you're doing higher end handmade products. Okay, so online, having an online or social media presence, and again, building your own website. I would recommend you build your website on Shopify. It's very user-friendly. I've had nothing but great experiences with it. You can do it yourself. I know a lot of you guys are like, man, I am not tech savvy. I don't understand this. I'm not ready or prepared to do this. Hey, I get where you're coming from. Neither was I. But I literally built my website for Iron by Iron Woodworks. I built that in a couple days, max. Now, when you get ready to build your website, you got to have pictures of your products. You got to have prices. You need to have an About Us page with pictures of you and your family. You need to have different things. You can go to my website, actually, ironbyironwoodworks.com, and you can check out my website and see how we do what we do. So that's the first sales channel, is getting online. And I would recommend this. Regardless of whatever else you do, you need to have an online presence, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2 is wholesale. So what is the difference between retail and wholesale? So wholesale, you are selling to the person that owns a store or a really great online website. You're selling to them. They're getting a cut of it before they sell it to the end consumer. What this means is that, number 1, you have to have really good margins to be able to do this. So if you are, let's say, for example, you make $1,000 tables, but it costs you $500 to make it, and you're selling $1,000 tables to the end consumer, well, you don't have room to sell wholesale. You don't have room because a wholesale client or a wholesale customer, most of the time, they want to be able to double their money to sell it to the end consumer. You need to have 75% margins of what you would sell it to the end consumer for. So follow me for a second, okay? Let's say that you want to sell this $1,000 table to a wholesale company. They're like Wayfair, for example, or Pottery Barn, or something along those lines. Somebody has a storefront that gets lots of traffic. You're like, hey, I want to put my stuff in that store, and I'm going to sell it to you wholesale. Well, if they're going to try to sell it for $1,000, they need to be able to buy it for $500. Your costs in it need to be no more than $250. If my costs in it are $250, I can sell it to them for $500. I've doubled my money. They can then double their money for $1,000. Okay, if you can't do that from a margin standpoint, then that doesn't make sense. The best way that furniture makers can sell their stuff wholesale is if they make really, really high-end stuff, to where you're looking at, I'm selling my, these tables are getting sold for $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 to the end consumer in like really high-end interior design showrooms, and I can sell them for $2,000, $3,000 to them, if that makes sense. And so the benefits of having wholesale accounts is this is consistent work most of the time. You're going to pay your bills with wholesale. So like I used to manage a antler chandelier company, and that's a very unique niched product. And they were selling these chandeliers retail for $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000, depending upon how big they are. But they're selling them wholesale and making great money selling them wholesale. So, they're able to double or 2.5 times their money on every single chandelier selling it wholesale. So what that meant was that from a cash flow perspective, they are sustaining their business with their wholesale model. And what that also allowed them to do is they had 500 wholesale clients. And so they had consistent revenue through wholesale. And why is that consistent? Because these people that are buying your products that have stores or websites, they have established consistent traffic flow into their store, out of their store, onto their website, off their website. And so if they order from you and your product is good, it'll sell. And they'll have more people come in their store and it'll sell. And they'll have more people come in their store and it'll sell. So the lifetime value of a wholesale client grows really big, really fast. So if your margins allow for it, wholesale is actually a great way to go. You can ship your products. Another thing that they might do is they might have you drop ship for them. So what that means is that they have a website, for example, that gets a ton of traffic, and you actually don't ship the products to them. You just put your pictures on their website. They sell it. They send you a notification, and you ship directly to the customer so that they don't have to keep stock or keep inventory. Really brilliant business model. So like the Wayfarers of the world, that's what they do. Is Wayfair doesn't really keep any inventory. They'll sell your products, but then you ship directly to the customer or to the client. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. What are the drawbacks of wholesale? Well, your margins are usually a little thinner. That's what the drawbacks are. And some people can't sell wholesale. Honestly, we can't really sell wholesale because we don't have the margins to do it, and it be justified by the time that the store or the website is trying to sell to the end consumer. They would have to be selling it for, what we sell, a $2,000 or $3,000 table. We'd have to figure out how to redesign it or make it incredible in some way that they could justify selling it for $6,000 or $7,000, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's your second sales channel, is wholesale. Establishing a wholesale channel. It's really great because it gives you consistent revenue, but it takes more time to establish it. It is very relational, and you're going to have long-term clients, but your margins have to allow for it. You have to be making really great money in order for that to work. Okay, so the last sales channel that I want to give you today, and again, these are big overviews. I've kind of broken down all the things online, the different ways that you can do wholesale. The last one is your own brick and mortar retail business. And so I'm actually sitting here right now in my showroom, and this was something that I didn't have a showroom for the first 4.5 years of my business, for the first 4 years of my business. And I knew that if we could get a showroom, we've had so many clients that we talked to online, like, can I come by and see anything? Can I put my hands on something? Can I look at something? And I was like, I think if we can find a showroom somewhere, it doesn't have to be giant or elaborate. The room that we're in right now is about 1,000 to 1,200 square feet. I think I have 8 tables in here at the moment, but we set up our own brick and mortar, which is a physical location, retail store. And what this has allowed us to do is it allows clients to come in, see our products. We can push people here with advertising. We can run specials that if you come to the store, we'll give you an extra, X% off of your order or whatever, because we also know that if people come into the store and they see the quality of our products, most likely they purchase. We have about a 75 to 80% close rate of people that come into the showroom, because once they've seen us online, they just get bombarded with our ads, and then they come into the showroom. Most likely they end up purchasing. Not everybody, but most people end up purchasing. And so what's great about a brick and mortar retail store? Well, it's a physical place that people can come see your products. That's what's great about it. If you have small items, you can sell right out of the store. Like when you go to a store, you're picking the shirt off the rack and taking it home with you. Well, we don't do that. We just have examples set up in our showroom, being a table manufacturer, of, hey, these are all the options that you have, and then we'll build it custom for you from here. So our products stay in our showroom. We don't actually sell off the showroom floor unless, a unique circumstance. But that's really the benefit of it. That's it's probably allowed us to get a 20% bump every single month in our sales. But what are the drawbacks of having a showroom? Well, you have to have somebody that's always here, that's manning it. You have to have hours. You got to keep it clean. There's rent involved, so we have to pay rent to have this showroom. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of drawbacks to it. And so the bigger store that you get, the more products you can display, and the more options you have for your customers, the more likely they are to purchase from you. However, you're going to incur a lot more overhead. So you have to be really wise about, am I big enough to take on that expense? Because remember, rent, for example, if you're building everything out of your garage or out of your shop at your house right now, you don't have any overhead per se. As soon as you take on a showroom or a shop, now all that expense is coming out of your net profits. And so you got to be really wise to understand how big you need to be able to justify that without going broke. And so you got to take baby steps along the way, and have a strategic plan to grow. And so that's one of the things that I really help you with inside the Woodworking Business Accelerator program is what's the next step? What's the next step for me? I know a lot of you guys listening are like, man, it'd be awesome to have a showroom. It'd be awesome to have our own retail store, but you're not ready for that yet. You could be in 6 or 8 months inside the Woodworking Business Accelerator program, to where we get you from 2 to 10,000, wherever you're at right now, up to 20, 30, 40,000. Now you start making room to take on those expenses and grow your team. Those are the 3 sales channels. You've got social/online, and it's huge. It's where everybody is. It's where you need to be. You need to have a place that you can direct traffic to online. Number 2, wholesale channels. It's where you work with other businesses. That is business to business. So you're not selling to the end consumer, you're selling to another business that's selling to an end consumer. They have an established sales channel. And then third is your own brick and mortar retail location as well. So hopefully this has helped you. And if this has helped you, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment. Let me know where you're at in the country or in the world. I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Peace out.